Hey everyone, welcome to Night Combos. There's a little jump scare there.
Welcome back. Hubby's here.
Hey Hobby, we appreciate
Hey,
you being here.
hey,
Okay, y'all, we're gonna go over a part of the book, part 6 of Gypsy's Book of Lies, Her Time to Scam. And there's so many more titles that we could put with it. Anyway, we're going to go over that section of her book. We've put out several videos today, so if y'all haven't seen them, please make sure y'all go and watch them. We have 2 shout outs we were wanting to do, but we would prefer to do them on tomorrow's video about Ryan, Ken, and Gypsy that we had planned for today until all this mess happened about her TikTok getting hacked and all of that. So anyway, we'll do that video tomorrow and we'll do our shout outs tomorrow because hubby wanted to be a part of those shout outs. So we'll wait and do those shout outs on that video for those people just in case they don't listen to the book, because we understand that some of you listen to the book and some of you choose not to, which is completely fine. We understand. But before we get into it, we just truly wanted to say thank you so, so very much to every single one of y'all. I know that we say this all the time, but y'all really are so amazing, and we're so grateful for all of you. Y'all helped us reach our goal, our hubby's goal of 3,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Y'all helped us reach that before the end of the month, and even helped us reach a little over 3,100 subscribers. So our family and channel continues to grow, and we couldn't be more thankful and grateful for it. And it's all because of every single one of you. So please know that we are so truly thankful for all of you. Everyone that's been with us from the very beginning all the way to now, and all of our new subscribers. We're so appreciative of all of you. We appreciate you subscribing and joining our family and channel here on YouTube. So welcome to all of you. We hope y'all enjoy our content and continue to enjoy all of our content. Thank you to all of you. And if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos, all of the things, and we would greatly appreciate it. And please make sure to give y'all's thoughts, comments, opinions, and everything for this section 6 of her book and everything in the comment section. And like always, we'll be down there conversating with y'all as well. Okay, so let's jump into section 6 of Gypsy's Time to Scam. Really though, her time to stand or whatever. I mean, she's always stood. We all know that. Yesterday, when hubby was at work and we all went over sections 4 and 5, I let half of it play, then gave like my thoughts and opinions, then let the second half play and gave my thoughts and opinions and stuff on the second half. And that seems to work a little better rather than letting it play and like continuously pausing it just to, say what our thoughts and opinions and comments and stuff are all throughout it. That way y'all don't have to worry about it being paused constantly, and y'all can just simply listen to it, all the way through. Because we have not went through this whole book. We're doing it with y'all. We're blind reacting with y'all. So we'll let the first half play and then give our thoughts, and then let the second half play and give our thoughts. Because that seems to work a little better for everybody. So here we go.
6. Lanyap. A little something extra you probably weren't expecting. Everyone in Mama's family knew she was a hoarder. Before we arrived in Springfield, Missouri, when I was 15 years old, we had been traveling light. With just the clothes in our suitcases and a few of our favorite things, my mother's baby pillow and my stuffed blue dog, ingeniously named Blue Doggy, we bounced around from the time I was 8. I imagined that without a permanent place for my mother to store all her emotional baggage, she doubled down on collecting physical baggage once we landed in Springfield, where we were blessed to receive our Habitat for Humanity house on Volunteer Way. We frequented yard sales and bought crap just to buy it. like game consoles, souvenirs from other people's vacations, and even furniture we didn't need. It was mostly clothing she hoarded. My mother couldn't say no to a donation. She loved a good going out of business sale, even if the items on 90% markdown were useless to us. She was a shopaholic for sure. Maybe this was another coping mechanism for dealing with her clinical depression. The days after the holidays were her favorite time to run out to JCPenney or Dillard's to snatch up prom dresses after prom season ended, to Michael's to round up next year's Christmas decorations, or she'd buy merch for events after the fact, like a bicentennial celebration t-shirt a year after the fireworks show. Then there were the things we'd steal. My mother taught me the art of shoplifting at a very young age. She had a family history of kleptomania, I found out recently. Legend has it that my grandmother Emma had been arrested for stealing, and she had been caught and banned from food and clothing stores on more than one occasion. My mother grew up with a comfortable middle-class lifestyle, so any thievery must have just been for the high. Did Emma teach my mother how to steal, which is why Mama taught me how to? While sometimes I believe we stole because she wanted to get me things that we simply couldn't afford, I also think she experienced a thrill from the satisfaction of knowing we pulled one over. I remember my mother stealing a wheelchair from the Children's Hospital in Kansas City. I just had surgery on my lazy eye, a condition I actually had, and she wheeled me right out of the building into our van. Later, she took nail polish remover and a toothbrush and scrubbed off the hospital's name. The hospital had trusted us to use the wheelchair until we got to the car. She loaded it into the car as nonchalantly as you would a bag of groceries, and we drove away. I imagined her thinking, I wonder when or if they'll ever notice it's gone. We actually had several, maybe 5, wheelchairs that sat throughout our small home. Like her pewter wizard figurines, my mother collected wheelchairs. We had a collapsible one, a jazzy-powered wheelchair, and another powered wheelchair that was custom-made so everything from the seat to the hydraulics was fit for me. Medicaid paid for the custom power wheelchair. My mom paid for the travel wheelchair she bought at Target or Walmart. Insurance covered the jazzy. As I grew older, my mother preferred me to use the foldable wheelchair as it required her to push me and made me less independent. Sitting in a wheelchair in the store aisles helped me more easily catch and conceal items my mother would knock into my lap. When she wasn't dressing me like a boy, I'd head to Walmart in my princess costume, the tool of the skirt being a great canopy for hiding merchandise. And for items that couldn't be sat on or hidden underneath my beanie cap, my mother taught me the barcode swap. Remove the barcode sticker from the cheaper item and place it on the more expensive one. Then use the self-checkout lane. Since Sam's Club didn't have metal detectors, I'd be able to fit 14 or 15 CDs on me. We'd steal random stuff at Hobby Lobby, mostly arts and crafts items, which I used a lot of. My outlet was drawing and painting and making characters with those googly eyes you glue on and different colored feathers. I also loved to sketch. When I went to prison, one of the items that I asked Dad and Christy to save from the house was my book of artwork. But one time, we tripped an alarm at Hobby Lobby. And as if they had been waiting for this moment for a long time, the manager and a minion ran to where we were, just outside the door. Search her, the manager said, pointing to me, in particular the part of my dress the crafts were crushed beneath. My mother put on her fake victim voice and acted all appalled. But they actually did it. They searched where I was seated in my wheelchair and discovered the gluey, sticky, sparkly contraband. We were marched to the back office, and I remember thinking, what a cool job being the manager of Hobby Lobby must be. How omnipotent the manager must feel, being able to watch people roam around his store from the one-way glass, none of them the wiser. How differently all the shoppers might act if they realized they were being observed. I knew how it felt to be looked at all the time, how to act when being observed. And like the shoppers in the store, I didn't have the power to look back. I wanted to have the advantage, like the managers, for once in my life. Believe it or not, the police were called and charges were pressed. Mama was banned from ever returning to that Hobby Lobby. At least that was my understanding. Mama was pissed because we had to hire an attorney and everything. But it didn't stop her from stealing from other stores, only to bring the goods home, never to be used. I'd later learned that Mama had several charges against her in Louisiana, but they didn't follow when we left the state. In Missouri, the bedroom where my mother and I slept had so much stuff piled in it, I needed to carve a pathway for myself from the door to the bed. My wheelchair barely fit through the doorway. In fact, we had to take our bedroom door off its hinges. There wasn't room for it to be open completely, which made it impossible for me to wheel through without crashing into the doorframe. You know those giant black bags used to throw leaves and grass cuttings in? The ones that you can step in if you're shorter than 5'3", like me? They were everywhere, all filled with clothes. And as if they were dresser drawers or filing cabinets, my mother knew the contents of each bag. She knew where everything was.
Oh, your mom put on her victim voice, kind of like you do when you want something from people. Like, hi everybody, go buy my book. You know, like that. Do you mean like that, Dip Jip? Yeah, right. I don't believe you. Sorry, don't believe you. Sorry, not sorry. But, okay, Gypsy, you say you were so blessed to receive that Habitat for Humanity house. Yeah, I got that, right? Even though you were definitely blessed and to get that Habitat for Humanity house, and so is your mom, to be honest. But even though you pitched a fit about it in the conference room and demanded how you wanted it to be built, and even attacked people's children in that conference room to see if y'all would even get the house, you were acting ridiculous. And Dee Dee had to go and talk to the person that was making the decision about whether or not y'all would even get the house. You couldn't control yourself and still acted out with your quote freakouts. Then you say, quote, legend has it, like it's back from, I don't know, the Egyptian days or something like that. Quote, legend has it that your grandma Emma was banned from food and clothing stores. You mean just like how you were banned from Hobby Lobby for life and then went there with Kenny Boy for the baby's nursery, supposedly? Yeah, you can't talk about anyone else being banned, Dip Jip, when you yourself were banned for stealing.
You have done nothing to change the cycle of behavior.
No, she hadn't. No, you absolutely haven't, Dip Jip. And you said on your and if you don't change anything to or if you don't do anything or take or get therapy or whatever, take therapy to change the cycle of behavior, then it's just going to continue, and everything that you've shown is just going to continue with your own child. And I just truly feel, I mean, hubby and I talk all the time. We really do truly feel sorry for this child she's allegedly having in January, if she hasn't had it already. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you said on your news interview, remember right before your book came out, that your mom's side of the family was okay with you writing this book and supported you writing it and getting your story out. That's not true, Dip Jip, and you know it. We even did a video on that called Shocking Gypsy's Aunts Speak Out. And we'll put the link at the top of our description box for that video in this video. Like the video where her two aunts, her mom's two sisters speak out or spoke out. We'll put the link to that video that we done at the top of the description box for this video. So y'all can see what her mom's two sisters had to say about creators and the whole situation. Also, Dip Jip, you said the thievery must have been for the high. Really? Have you ever thought maybe it was your mom so your mom could take care of you? You ever thought about that? Or that it was part of y'all's con? Like when you said it was nice to be able to pull one over? Goodness, girl. Why did you even write any of this? Seriously, I would love to know. For your daughter, supposedly? What Y'all, I got tongue tied and hubby's sitting here laughing at me. I'm so sorry, y'all. I was trying to say, why did you even write any of this? Seriously, Dip Jip. For your daughter, supposedly? What, so she could know that you're nothing but a manipulative liar? Then you say your mom stole a wheelchair after you had surgery on your lazy eye, which you needed, by the way, just so you know. So it was not unnecessary. Just thought I would let you know since you don't seem to Hubby, I swear to goodness, if you don't stop. Since you don't seem to know the difference. Okay, we had to pause for a second to gather ourselves because I got tongue tied and hubby kept making me laugh. So I'm sorry. But she was saying, or I was saying that, I was saying, dang it, hobby. You don't stop. So I was saying, so she apparently wrote this book for her daughter to know that she's literally a manipulative liar. But Gypsy, then you say your mom stole a wheelchair after you had surgery on your lazy eye, which you needed, like I was saying. So it was not unnecessary, just so you know. Yet you've said so many other times that your mom came home with the wheelchair when you were 4. Again, another example of you knowing how old you were and made you use it after you got in the motorcycle accident with your grandpa Claude, Daddy Claude as you call him, or Daddy Claude to you. That's what she was calling him in the other chapters. You missed the 2 chapters we did yesterday, hubby. But Daddy Claude as she calls him. So when did you actually have to use the wheelchair, supposedly or allegedly by your mom, or forcibly by your mom, if ever? Was it after the lazy eye surgery or when you were 4 after the motorcycle accident with your grandpa? And you say that Medicaid paid for you to have a powered wheelchair? If that's true, it was because they knew you needed it from doctors. They don't easily pay for things like that. Medicaid doesn't. Dang this girl and her book of lies. You had to have a wheelchair because of your micro deletion and the muscles getting tired in your legs so often. Just like they do now when you're at the mall and you have to sit down about every 20 to 30 minutes or so. And that's again your words there, ding dong. I don't think your mom enjoyed having to push your lazy self around, as you say in your book, that she enjoyed pushing you around to have control over you. I don't think she enjoyed that. Like, come on. You're still like that, especially now, wanting to be waited on hand and foot. That's why Kenny Boy and Krusty Christy are getting sick and tired of it. Oh, and then you admit that your dad and Christy went back into the house and took things out of it after the unaliving, after you went to prison, and you asked them to save your book of artwork. My God. All of the quote contraband from Hobby Lobby was for you. And you literally say that, but then act like your mom knew that you were stealing it and quote acted so appalled by it when you got caught leaving the store Hobby Lobby. She acted appalled because you were stealing stuff for yourself, for your quote artwork. Jip, you really should seriously be ashamed for blaming everything on your mom. But don't worry, Gypsy, we don't expect anything less because you still take absolutely no blame for anything that you do, or no responsibility and no accountability for anything that you do. You always, always, always blame someone or something else. It's never Gypsy's fault, right? Goodness. Your mom was banned from ever returning to Hobby Lobby? You sure about that? No. It was both of you that were banned, Dip Jip. You said your wheelchair barely fit through the doorway of your house, and of the bedroom, but you've said before that there was no room for you to use your wheelchair in the house because it was so cluttered.
Other than maybe the living room.
Well, yeah, that's true, because we seen her in the wheelchair filming that video for Nick of where they could do it to try to get pregnant, to try to get her pregnant.
Yeah.
That video that we covered. And we've seen the crime scene photos and your wheelchair parked in the bathroom. We know you were walking when you let Nick in the house, and also when you said you walked to bed that night, supposedly. But you have several different stories of what happened during that time, saying your mom went to bed first, and you went to bed first, and so on. There's so many different stories that you've said happened during that time after y'all painted each other's nails and all that. Do you ever think about those things, Dip Jip? Just seriously wondering, asking for a friend. Do you ever wonder about those things or think about those things? Does it ever bother you?
Probably not.
It probably don't bother her. She tries to claim she has nightmares of her mom's, body laying there,
Mm-hmm.
but then claims she never seen her mom's body laying there.
Yeah.
There's so many stories with that of what happened during that time that no one knows the actual truth except the two other people that aren't here to call you the heck out like you deserve to be, in our opinions anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Excuse me, y'all.
We really both have been sick with colds and trying to deal with that. Anyway, we're going to play the other half of this and then we'll go through it and give our thoughts and opinions on the last half of it.
The premiere of the new Jurassic Park movie is today? No problem. She'd head out to the shed or into the back bedroom and whip out a t-shirt with T-Rex on it. She saved everything. I always wondered what she was afraid of losing. Whatever it was, it controlled her life. Beyond stealing and hoarding, my mother was being treated by a doctor for bipolar disorder. I was too small to take note whether the shopping sprees coincided with the mania that she experienced for weeks on end. I couldn't keep up with her during her manic episodes. She'd stay up all night and clean, do the dishes, move the black bags of clothing around and wash the clothes and fold them, only to put them back in the black plastic. When she was depressed, Mom would cover the windows with black garbage bags and stay in bed for weeks at a time. After the DFS visit, the garbage bags became permanent. Get up, get out of bed, I'd say, as I would try to roll her over and off the bed. You can't stay asleep all the time. I'm hungry. She was receiving disability checks for her bipolar disorder, and once a week, a woman who worked for the Social Security office would make visits for therapy. It got to a point where my mother didn't want to talk to her anymore, so she stopped letting her in. She took Xanax and Ambien to knock herself out, especially after something set her off. And it could be anything. A clerk at the checkout counter was rude to her. Someone didn't return her phone call. She saw postings of Chrissy and my dad on Facebook. She'd head straight to bed and wouldn't even get up to eat. When I was much younger, before I understood my life was totally abnormal, these episodes scared me sick. I would frantically figure out how to get food to her. I knew how to make toast, so I'd make a lot of it. Then I graduated to making Pillsbury biscuits in a toaster oven. Even in her despair, she'd set an alarm, and when it went off, she'd give me my medicine and my feeding, because if she didn't, I might begin to see that nothing bad would happen to me. When her bipolar condition was not controlled, she stopped being my mother, which scared the shit out of me. Now I think that maybe she liked seeing me afraid because it showed I loved her. She needed that attention. Was this part of the game? The pulling one over on me? Conning me so I'd care for her and fuss over her? She'd always say I was the only person she had in life. You're my heart, she'd tell me. When we'd take baths together, she'd remind me of how it's me and her against the world forever. One time, I noticed raised red marks on her arm. I remember rubbing my fingers along them, sprinkling bath water over her as if the droplets would magically heal them. As I investigated the marks more closely, the word pain came into view, appearing like a film negative submerged into a basin of developing solution. That looks like it hurts, I said, appalled that she had carved the word pain into her forearm. How recently or long ago, I could not know. It relieves pain, she said. I swallowed my own hurt down, wanting to make her pain go away. So I bandaged her wounds for her, feeling a sense of purpose, when she said, I help you, you help me. We take care of each other. She threatened to kill herself on many occasions. You know, Gypsy, I might look big like a rhino, but I don't have the skin like one, she'd say. As I grew older, I realized she was guilting me to control me. At first, it was jarring to hear her blurt out, "I just want to die," because I was afraid of what would happen to me. We were all each other had, and I wanted to protect our little family. Over time, it became something she'd say when we were having a disagreement, or I was sassing her. On several occasions, I wanted to know why my mother didn't want someone other than me in her life to love her, make her feel special, and generally be her companion. I began to wish she had someone else, so she would loosen her grip on me, let me go a little. There would be men who asked my mom on a date. Her answer to them was always, "My focus is on my daughter." "And why do you want me with a man so much, baby?" she'd ask me, when I'd see a nice man in the hospital waiting room or at the Ronald McDonald House, and nudge her, as a way to say, "Go talk to him." "I want a daddy," was always my reply. "What can you get from a daddy that I can't give you?" she'd answer. We both knew it was a rhetorical question. Was she using me as a shield, or was inviting others into our lives going to increase the odds of someone finding us out? The same reason she had kept me out of school and isolated me from her entire family. Had I been in school, I would hope that experienced educators would catch on that my IQ was not low, and a school nurse administering albuterol for asthma would realize real quick that my lungs filled up like balloons. Given the opportunity, someone at some point was bound to figure out that I was intelligent, mobile, and older than I thought. So my mother kept the circle small. Behind closed doors, she'd blame her being alone all on me. "Your dad left me because of you." When her shadow side came out during her depressive weeks, that blame turned to disdain, and she'd say in her favorite line, "There are 8 personalities in my head, and 7 of them don't like you." On those days, I'd try to find a place to hide in our small little house, so to not further clutter her mind. But at nighttime, she'd still come for me, so I could lie all night with her 7 hateful personalities. "This is your fault, Gypsy. I do everything for you. I've sacrificed everything. And this is how you repay me?" The hits kept coming, even as I pretended to sleep, muzzled with a CPAP machine, choking on my mother's contempt. I even got blamed for her sisters not favoring her, which made it hard for me to form a relationship with all her siblings. My mother positioned a wall between me and her family, the Petries, which is one of the reasons I didn't call them for help. Any failures in my mother's life were because of me. Eventually, there was no one else around to blame. We only had temporary friends, no consistent home, always starting over in a new place. She couldn't blame her family, who she estranged us from. And at this point, I had minimal contact with my dad. Her only constant was me.
Aw, so when a movie came out, it meant that your mom always had a t-shirt or something for it to support your excitement? Does that seriously not make you feel awful? I know it would us or any other normal person.
Yeah, it would.
You say your mom was diagnosed with bipolar now as well as MBP or Munchausen by proxy. The same thing as fictitious disorder imposed on another. That's what it's called now instead of Munchausen by proxy, but we're going to say Munchausen by proxy or MBP. It's just easier for us to say than that mouthful, you know? But that's hard to believe, being that she was never diagnosed with MBP. So we're supposed to believe you about the bipolar disorder we've never seen proof of? Okay. She would stay in bed for weeks at a time, kind of like how you stay in bed all the time and don't help out around the house. And again, Krusty Christy, Mia, Daddy Rod, Kenny Boy, everyone is getting tired of it. Oh, Girly Pop, you are absolutely ridiculous. You say she would stay in bed for weeks at a time. Well, if that's true, then who was supposedly giving you your meds and stuff in your feeding tube and baby bottles of Pedialyte and changing your adult diapers?
She did say her mom set an alarm
Well,
or a timer or something.
well, I didn't hear that part. But still, I mean, she didn't know how to do anything without her mom or someone else's help, just like now.
That's true.
See? But seriously, because if any of you know anyone like that with bipolar disorder, you know that they really can't get out of bed during a manic episode like that where they're severely depressed and they don't want to engage in life at all in any way 99% of the time. And when they're in those manic episodes, they are literally like day and night, like in like the difference in them is like day and night from their normal self. Oh, and also, Gyp, girlfriend, Social Security workers don't come once a week or any time for that matter for anything, especially not to give therapy. A doctor would have to sign paperwork. It would have to be approved, and so much would have to go into it to get Medicaid to pay for an actual therapist to come do at home therapy, even if it's not physical therapy, even if it's just, other types of therapy. There would be so much that would have to go into that for it to be approved and to get Medicaid to pay for it. Also, you say you were oh so worried about her that you would make her toast and biscuits to take her because that's all you knew how to cook. So, why didn't you eat any of it? Especially since you said you would try to get her up because you were hungry and you knew that you could eat regular food. You've admitted that. Is it because you just wanted to be treated like a baby and have a bottle made for you since you said it was one of your comfort items? She said that in chapters 4 and 5 that we did yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of her comfort items. And she was even saying how she liked the clear nipples on the bottles versus the brown ones because the brown ones would make the fluid come out too quickly. Even though she was freaking older and could handle it.
Mm.
Yeah. She would want it to come out slower, I guess. More like for like a baby so they don't choke.
She's ridiculous.
She really is. You said she was conning you. What about all the people you've conned and still con, Gyp?
Why wasn't it in the autopsy report that the word pain was carved into her forearm?
Oh, I don't know, but it wasn't. It really was not in the autopsy report. And that really does seem odd. Because we've been over that autopsy report, and that was not in there. And y'all know when they do an autopsy report, they have to literally write down like every tattoo, every marking, every scar, birthmark, etc. that's on your body. So that's kind of odd. This is the first time we're ever hearing about Dee Dee having the word pain carved into her arm.
Yeah.
She claimed she wanted to make her mom's pain go away so she'd sprinkle water over it in the bathtub or whatever. But she literally tried to unalive her several times before actually jabbing her own mom in the back. You say she was guilting you to control you? Gypsy, you literally do that very thing to this day to people. What the heck? If Dee Dee really had 8 personalities and 7 of them didn't like Gypsy, don't you think she would have been the one to do? Sorry, but if 7 of her personalities didn't like Gypsy, don't you think she would have been the one to do to Gyp what Gyp done to her?
Yep.
Like,
Seems like it.
I know. She's ridiculous. Come on, girly pop. You cannot expect anyone to really believe this, especially knowing that you are the one that's been diagnosed with a personality disorder, with a multiple acute multiple personality disorder to be exact. And we showed y'all that medical record or that piece of paper from her medical records anyway in a previous video. I actually believe that she really did write this book for her own daughter. I truly do believe she wrote it for her child now. I seriously do.
Yeah.
Because, like, she just wants to manipulate her daughter. Like, she wants to...
sense.
she wants to manipulate her and make her believe what, like, Gypsy wants to make her daughter believe what she wants her daughter to believe, not anything else. She wrote it as a manipulation.
That does make sense.
And what's so crazy about it is she's planning it this far ahead of time. Because she said she wouldn't let her daughter read the book until she's 18. So, 18 years from now?
Yeah.
If she's allegedly having the baby in January and hadn't already had it. But even if she has already had it, still 18 years from now. You know? And she was planning this. Even before she was pregnant, she was planning this book. So, she was planning to manipulate her future child.
Yeah, she was.
I mean, that's wild.
It's crazy.
It really is crazy. Anyway, y'all, that's all we're gonna do for tonight, because we posted all those videos earlier about several different things that's going on today, including her TikTok getting hacked and all of that. So if y'all haven't watched those videos from today or any of our videos, make sure y'all go and watch them. And we will have that video where Gypsy's aunts spoke out. Her mom's two sisters spoke out. We'll have that video linked at the top of our description box of this video. But we're going to do another section of the book, but we'll just wait until tomorrow, like I was saying, when we put out our other video about Ken, Gypsy, and Ryan. Because it's getting late here, y'all. And we've already put those other videos out, like I was saying. So, we hope y'all enjoyed listening to this. We hope y'all enjoyed Hubby laughing at me for getting tongue-tied. And we hope y'all enjoy all of our content and continue to. Again, thank you so much, so very much to all of our subscribers. We can't begin to say in words how much it truly means to us to have all of you a part of our family and channel here on YouTube. It truly means so very much to us, and we're grateful for every single one of you. And if you're not already, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell, all of the things, and we would truly greatly appreciate it. We're so grateful for all of you. And we hope you all have a good night, and God bless.
Have a good night, and God bless.
Bye.
Bye.